Welcome to Daily Plunge. We are in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 18, verses 1 through 14. Starts off by talking about how the community is to take care of the priests and Levites, that those who are called to stand and to minister to the community, that they're not going to have any inheritance in the land. Well, why is that? Because their full-time job is to minister to the community and by standing before the Lord. So they don't have time for plowing fields, right? They want their focus to be on ministering to the community. And, that's one of the things to understand is that these ministers are that they depend upon the people they serve, that they depend upon their tithing and their first fruits. This is a passage that Paul references when he talks about that as an apostle, he is to make his living from the preaching of the gospel. And I think one of the challenges for us as believers and for you is, do you tithe to God? Do you give to God, or do you tip? Tithing would be giving 10% or more of your gross income, if you want to get technical, to the work of the church, not just to anywhere out in society, to the work of the church, because the work of the church is what is eternal. Or do you give? Maybe you give 5% of your income, or do you simply tip God with a token of your appreciation? It's a challenge that each one of us needs to address. Now, in the next, going on beyond this, verse 9, when you enter the land that the Lord your God is providing for you, you are not to imitate the detestable ways of the nations there. And then there is a list. There is a list that we should pay attention to. No practicing of divination, no sorcery, no interpreting omens, no engaging in witchcraft, no casting of spells. We don't need any mediums or spiritists, no necromancy and consulting the dead. A lot of these things are happening today. There are Christians who engage in this, and the whole occult practices, God says, I don't want you to do them. Now, can people do these things? Oh, yeah, they do them. But we're not supposed to be trying to figure out the future based on what God, on these things. We're supposed to trust God for our future. He has told us what our future is. It's Him. And it's not like you can change it anyways. And we all want to have some control over that. No. The horoscopes, the fortune telling, all of these are false and demonic. Do we have faith and trust in God? Do we trust God to have the answers for us, right? And, it goes on. The nations you dispossess, listen to those who practice sorcery. You're not supposed to be engaging in the same thing that those who were so wicked were doing. And I think ultimately more than anything is that God's name is not to be trifled with. Do not mess with God, because God doesn't play. Do not trifle with His name. It's not to be invoked for these kind of practices. It's not to be profaned. You're not to use God's name for magical incantations. God's name is to be used for worship, for glorifying Him, for adoration, and for blessing. Well, thanks, friends. Have a blessed day.